Hey, we're cooking with gas here on the Jewcast.
Okay, careful using a phrase like that.
This trial is a travesty. It's a travesty of a mockery, of a sham, of a mockery, of a travesty, of two mockeries, of a sham.
Tradition!
Oh, shut up, Carl! Shut your goddamn Jew mouth! You people are why there's war in the Middle East!
Gekakken af een jam.
Nebbig.
Ver poepoepoe.
Vermischt.
Verkakt.
Vertut.
Verstonken.
Fartig.
Exactly.
You what Grammy Hall would call a real Jew.
L'chaim.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova to all of our listeners. A happy Jew year to you.
Hey, Rosh Hashanah is right around the corner.
It's coming up.
Get your apples and honey ready.
Yeah, we were.
By the way, I love apples and honey. It's delicious.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan as well.
I eat it all the time. I don't just save it for Rosh Hashanah. I'm like, anytime I have a chance for apples and honey, I'm in on it.
It's a nice nosh for sure. It's a healthy snack.
Great snack.
Yeah.
Some good foods.
Always good foods on Rosh.
I
yeah.
like the round challah too. That's always good. They dip it in honey too for a sweet year.
For a sweet year, a sweet and happy and healthy new year.
That's a song that's in my head from when I was growing up. It's like, apples dipped in honey for Rosh Hashanah, a sweet, sweet year. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's why there aren't really that many good Jewish songs that people know, because they're weird. That's a weird song. I never heard that song.
You never heard that one?
No, and I don't think I don't feel like I need to.
Wow, thanks. I thought I sang it really well.
No, it's not about your voice. I just think it's a weird song. The lyrics of it, so it's turning the year 5780. Is that what it is? I think that's what I read. I don't care. I'm going to party like it's 59.99.
Hey.
So you're down in Florida for the Rosh, right? With the fam at the in the motherland.
I'm down in Boca Raton at my grandma's.
Right, where all the there's basically three places in the world where there are a lot of Jews. It's New York, it's Israel, and then it's Boca.
Yeah, it's true. Saturday is my mother's birthday, and I'm planning on surprising her and taking her out to dinner.
Well, that's exciting.
Take a chance. Yeah, it should be a fun surprise for her birthday.
Very exciting, and
tomorrow's my grandmother's 97th birthday.
97. Wow.
Yeah, all the women in my life were born in September. It's very bizarre.
And right around Rosh Hashanah. That's always a good way to have.
My other grandmother turned 88 last week.
Well,
who knows? I'm in Boca. They have to blow the shofar extra hard because most people are hard of hearing around here.
Right, you got to take that shofar to 11.
You really got to blast that ram's horn. Well, Lady Gaga's never like, bring the chauffeur up on stage.
Right, there needs to be a Jewish version of the cowbell sketch. Needs a little bit more shofar. I have a fever. I'm running a strong fever, and the only cure, I think, the only remedy could be maybe a little bit more shofar.
They blow the shofar. It's got some good food. They want to have a sweet year, a good year. And I guess it's like God is opening up the books of life and death, and this is Rosh Hashanah is the day of judgment, and this is the time between Rosh Hashanah and then Yom Kippur, I guess, where you could repent, and so you could be put in the book of life. From what I understand, that there are 3 books that are open on Rosh Hashanah, where the fate of the wicked, the righteous, and I guess those in between are recorded. And if you're a righteous person, like we all are, super righteous, we're immediately put in the book of life and sealed to live. And the people in the intermediate, they have the 10 days till Yom Kippur to get their acts together. And the wicked, they're just screwed. Blotted out of the book of the living forever.
I like the idea that we have a week between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, because that always meant to me if you're going to repent for all of your sins, you get an extra week, to sort of get them all in.
Get it together.
It's like,
this 1 week.
Final warning, right?
Get your fall going hard and good.
Last call on sinning for the year.
But it's kind of funny, you can sin all year and then just be good for these 10 days. Or even that's just the deal with Yom Kippur. I'm sure we'll talk about more in the Yom Kippur episode. But yeah, so it's all starting Rosh Hashanah, the new year. Even though I was reading that apparently it takes place in the 7th month of the calendar. But I guess I was reading something that's like the 7th month, like the 7th day, like Shabbat. And apparently, this is commemorating Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently this was around this time. I learned one thing also. I learned that I never knew that people don't eat nuts on Rosh Hashanah because apparently the gematria for the word nuts is the same as the word sin.
Huh. That is nuts.
That much of these Jewish superstitions are, But are you going to go hear the shofar?
I don't know if I need to hear the shofar. I have a shofar. I have a shofar at my parents' house. My parents have one.
Okay. So you're just going to be blowing it yourself?
Yeah, I'll do some blowing.
Yeah. I guess another custom is to have the head of a fish.
Oh.
Because it symbolizes a prayer that let us be the head and not the tail.
I was also looking.
I always say I want to get head and tail.
Oh, there you go.
Hey-yo!
It's also
that's one for the book of the bad for me.
We're also closing out the Chinese year. The Chinese New Year starts in January. Right now we're still in the year of the boar. Year of the pig is this year still.
Year of the pig. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Not kosher.
Very, very treif year.
Yeah, very treif year. And next year is the year of the rat.
Oh no.
So I'm pretty sure that's not kosher either.
No, definitely rats are not kosher. I hope there's not too much snitching going on last year.
Yeah. Look out.
Speaking of rats.
Netanyahu.
Oh, wow. What a dagger in his heart.
Well, it's not surprising that we're still talking about this, I think. But, it's definitely going to continue being in the news, I think. The fact that they're deadlocked in the votes in Israel in that election.
Well, yeah, but so apparently the president of Israel, he appointed Netanyahu to be the one to form the government right now.
Right, because he got one seat more than Benny.
One seat more. That's all it took.
Yeah, so he gets to try to put together the government. What happens if he doesn't get it put together?
If he doesn't get together, then Gans is going to get a shot.
Okay. And then what about that? Then it feels like a sporting match. Like, okay, each team gets a chance to score, and then it goes into sudden death.
Yeah, apparently that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I guess they threw Netanyahu a bone. By the way, Netanyahu's nickname is the Magician.
The Magician.
Because apparently he's always able to magically keep going as prime minister, the longest running prime minister in Israel, and he always finds a way to stay in it. We'll see if he's the magician next week when he's up for his corruption and bribery charges.
First of all, I don't know how you would ever spot a Jewish magician because they all wear that, all the Jews are wearing those big coats and the top hats anyway already.
It's true. You're just smacking all the top hats
right.
off the different Jews and looking for a rabbit in all of them.
I pulled a rabbit hat out of a rabbit hat. It's like a babushka of rabbit hats that I just keep pulling out. Well, magicians, doesn't the Bible explicitly say don't consort with sorcerers and wizards? And
I believe we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Parsha.
So even the Torah is like condemning Netanyahu.
I guess.
The Torah is against him.
Netanyahu he's very right wing, the ultra orthodox. He sides with them. So it's interesting that he took that name, or he got that nickname, the Magician. But yeah, it's kind of a twist. He's got a chance to keep his job, but I know we've talked about it. We're not as I'm not at least agree with his right wing politics, with his stance on Palestine, and I'd like to see some new blood. He's been the longest running prime minister ever. I mean, in America you can only serve for the 2 terms. I think maybe Israel needs something like that. I think Israel needs a change. So I'm hoping he doesn't get it together. There's still discrepancies about who's actually going to lead. Netanyahu might do it for a little bit, and then Gantz might, they might switch off. But, Benny, our boy Benny, he doesn't want to work with Netanyahu because Netanyahu's corrupt, and he doesn't want to work with someone that's under indictment, which is totally I totally understand that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll say this. I would love to see him play up that magician angle. Let's chain him up, throw him in a safe, throw him in the ocean, and see if he can escape. And if he can, that should bring some unity.
Oh, really? You want to Houdini him?
Yeah, let's Houdini him. The fact that Netanyahu is basically about to be brought up on corruption charges on the eve of trying to bring unity to the nation is kind of weird. I don't know how that would even play out if he gets convicted. How do you bring unity from prison?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely divided. A lot of people want to change in Israel. It seems like a lot of, the Knesset.
Yeah.
It's split pretty much, down the middle. Neither one got the 61 votes. We'll see if Netanyahu could pull it off. They do call him the magician, and if not, Gantz will have the chance. I think change is good.
Well, there's also, I got to say, we're living in a weird time. I think right now there's a lot of divisiveness around the world. They're divided in Israel. We're very divided here in America. The whole Trump impeachment thing.
It's true. Which, by the way, is the guy from Ukraine, the president of Ukraine. He's a Jewish comedian.
Yeah.
These Jewish comedians are always causing so much trouble. I'm learning a lot more about Israeli politics. All I knew really much before was that I didn't like Netanyahu. And now I'm a little understanding more about the Knesset and their system, so I think that's good.
Right. I think the overall notion that they're really trying to bring more unity to that region is good. It doesn't look like they really know how to do it, but they're working towards more unity, which is, I think, it fits well with this week's Torah portion. Also calls for unity.
Right. Moses he's still talking to the Jews. They're about to go to Israel. He's kind of giving his last speeches, and they've been going on for a couple weeks, Torah portions, and he's still at it.
Yeah.
But he's still alive. We keep thinking he's going to die every week, and
you keep saying he's going to die. You're the one that's waiting for him to die. I don't understand why you're so ready for it.
Moses is still kicking. Well, because Moses is the one talking to God all the time. So, when it comes to writing the Bible and stuff, of course, I don't really believe any of it. Obviously, if you've listened to the podcast, you know my stance on it. But if, when Moses dies, then it's just the people are just writing what happened. It seems even less credible. At least, Moses has the direct ear to God.
I guess that's true. Moses is the only one that knows exactly what God said.
Yeah.
Well, because this week's Torah portion is all about. It's a lot of reiteration. Moses keeps repeating himself throughout these weeks. I feel like, but with reason. He's trying to just remind them over and over again. And this one is all about the unity. You should treat your neighbor kindly and.
Moses, he's not allowed in Israel after everything he did for the Jewish people, for the Lord. So I think he's really hey guys, be good. He's really trying to set them on the right path. It is very interesting that, they're saying that, in Israel that, they can't form a government unless they're together. The order of the movement is a unity government, a broad national unity government that is formed quickly. This is what Netanyahu's saying, and then we have this week's Torah portion, and he's saying the unity of Israel. You stand today, all of you, before the Lord your God, your heads, your tribes, your elders, your officers, and every Israelite man, your young ones, your wives, the stranger in your gate, from the wood hewer to the water drawer. Let's all be together as Jews. Let's all get together. So, hopefully the Jews are going to do that right now. They're about to go to Israel. And the Jews in Israel are going to unite. The differences, the right wing, the left wing, the Arab people, the ultra-Orthodox, the more secular people in Israel. And we could find a way to, have more peace in the Middle East. Because not only does it rhyme good, but it feels good.
Well, it's funny that when you read the Torah, these Torah portions, there is a pretty stark line drawn in the sand here, literally, I think. It's very black and white issue. It's either you follow the laws of God and he will give you everything you need, or you don't follow the laws of God to the letter exactly, and you will die a horrible death and suffer forever.
Yeah,
in the worst ways.
He warns about exile and desolation of the land if they abandon God.
If you follow my rules, I will bless you. If you do not, I shall curse you.
I got good news and I got bad news. If you're united, it's good. But if you don't, again, don't cross God. And then I guess he starts talking about how practical the Torah is. The mitzvahs that he commands them to do, that it's not too hard for them. It's not beyond them. It's not far away. It's not in heaven. It's not across the sea. It's very close, in your mouth, in your heart, that you may do it.
Right.
All right. I mean, I don't know how practical it is not to eat some of the best foods there are, and not to, like do any good stuff on the Sabbath, and just always be like obsessed with God. It's like we have to have this codependent relationship with God. But anyways, yeah. So he talks about the practical, and then he talks about freedom of choice. But we have the choice.
Right. He tells you have the choice to be good or bad.
If we don't make the right choice, there's going to be trouble.
Right.
So it's like you have the freedom to choose, but you better choose what I tell you to choose.
Right.
Or else I'm going to choose to kick your ass.
It is God's kind of a dick in that regard.
That's another theme of our podcast, like God's a dick. We'll see what happens. Moses is still alive. I'm glad. I wonder if he's going to be alive for this whole part of the book, and it's going to be good.
I think that, by the way, talking about the practicality of the Torah, I have two comments on that. I would say that there are maybe some rules in the Bible that were practical in that era in order to stay alive and keep the community together that don't make any sense today, that are somewhat impractical.
Absolutely. It's the same thing with like many of our constitutional laws. People want to be, the right to bear arms. When we had the right to bear arms, it was a very different America. It was a very different world that we were living in. First of all, we didn't have like semi-automatics. And it's the same thing with this. Life is different. For the rules of the Sabbath, like a lot of these things that in the Bible, it's like you shouldn't do it because you're supposed to rest. I think those things now are more helpful for us to actually rest, to chill.
Yeah. Although I'll tell you this. I kind of like, the countries that have a siesta, a national nap time is every day. I like that.
That is good. I remember growing up that was something on Saturday that there would be like my dad would always take a nap, a Saturday afternoon nap, Shabbat nap.
Shabbat
well,
nap.
We hope you're not napping while you're listening to our amazing podcast. This is episode 34.
34, baby. We made it.
If you want to ask us questions, say anything to us, set us up with your daughter or granddaughter, email us at americanjewpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram at American Jew Podcast. We're on Facebook at American Jew Podcast. We're on Twitter at American Jew Pod. I'm on Instagram. I'm rocking all these cool pictures and shots all the time. You should check me out at Jonathan Randall.
And you can always check me out on the gram at Beatnik Nudnik. That's where you can find me out. And we really hope you guys have a happy and a healthy 5780.
Yes, totally hope everybody has a sweet, 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 sweet year and enjoy some apple and honey. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova to you and yours.